Yeah, I will say, I'm excited about that Prey stuff. That looks cool.
Here we go. Well, that's the first thing people that watching live will hear. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Irrational Passions E3 2018 Bethesda Games press conference post show. I'm Alex O'Neill, your moderator for this very lovely evening. I wish I had like a glass of wine, like a Pinot Noir,
A
something
nice
like.
Cabernet Sauvignon. Or a
Yeah,
nice Merlot.
Cabernet. I'm not a Merlot guy,
Too dry for you?
personally. Uh, you know, there are days when I'm here for the dryness, but usually I'm here for something a little bit smoother. It
Okay.
depends. Depends on my
Maybe
mood.
try Malbecs.
Maybe if I'm having a steak, Quinn, I'll come for the Merlot. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
I'll come for it. All
Sure.
right.
Yeah.
My panelists tonight are Big Mike Burgess, video producer at RationalPatch.com. Hi, Mike.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Andrew WK.
And Andrew WK himself, columnist extraordinaire Quentin Hoffman is here.
Hello.
We're talking about Bethesda's E3 2018 press conference, which just finished just moments ago, and a lot of feelings coming out of this one. Different
A lot
feelings.
of good feelings.
Well, for some of us,
Mm,
different feelings than after Microsoft, where we were all feeling very good. I would say I feel relatively fine.
yeah, that was definitely like I kind of jokingly said like this would be a good like bring me down show after that. Like that, I would say it was even kind of more so than that. But like,
Yeah.
like but at the same time, like I think it's unfair to like directly compare them because like we have Microsoft, this large thing,
Yeah,
they can show
Microsoft.
off studios and different developers, and obviously
Exactly.
Bethesda is just Bethesda, but still, it was definitely like kind of weak in my opinion. Still,
Yeah, no, I think it is very much a weak showing. The trouble is like comparison wise, like Microsoft was kind of like this bringing everyone together kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very good vibes, very like like hey, we're highlighting these new studios that we have, and also like here's
Because
some
we have
great-
money and can buy things.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
But also like
Flex that check, my guy.
it's exciting to see like studios that we like and have like for a while.
Yeah.
They're getting an opportunity now that they might not have had before, and also
Yeah,
like big
for
third
sure.
party announcements, premieres of those announcements, like the first time they're ever being shown, which is always exciting, and also Microsoft's already pretty strong first party shows, or at least. This was
Yeah.
the year where they got to show their strongest IP,
Yeah.
whereas other years like they were
Yeah.
too close to them, or they'd already come out or whatever.
Yeah.
But having Halo and Gears in the same conference obviously is a big deal. This is
Yeah.
a different deal. Although, like if you look at it from another perspective, Bethesda's two strongest
Yeah.
brands, Elder Scrolls and Fallout,
Fallout,
were both in this conference.
Yep.
So, I think
And they're
like.
two new IP, Wolfenstein and Doom, were both present. You know what I mean?
But again, like new IP to them,
Yeah.
but not necessarily new IP. They had
Yeah.
one truly new thing that we've known about for a while. Finally
Yeah,
shown.
and like it was like a quote unquote new thing. It's like here's a logo,
Yeah.
It was kind of like all right. At least they
Um,
acknowledged it, I guess. But yeah,
So let's go around, kind of like what
Yeah.
we did for Microsoft,
Mhm.
and just let's just talk to me about how you're feeling, man. Mike, how are you feeling?
I guess if you couldn't have already told by my positivity, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to like it wasn't bad or terrible. Like it had like a lot of weird, like the whole kind of up front of the show was really weird. Like just a lot of like awkward crowd interactions, and some of it was the crowd, but I think also some of it was like a lot of the way they were presenting it of being like, hey, we're going to say this sentence and then pause for applause, and then like people are kind of like, oh, we're applauding again, like there was like so much of that, where so I think like a lot of people were just confused instead of like them kind of flowing naturally through things, which they should have done. But at the same time, like I think Pete Hines and Todd Howard are still like good showmen.
Yeah.
Like so, like they're good at like that stuff. So I think they did well. But then like it was good to show these developers, but it was also clear like they were kind of
Awkward.
shown,
Yeah.
awkward and kind of thrown off on the stage and had sort of a script to go off of.
I'll
but
say
like
the community manager guy did all right too.
yeah,
For the Elder Scrolls Legends cards, but he's a community manager. Right? I expect him to have a little bit more presence. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all in all, like it's exciting to see all the names, but a lot of them were very non-announcements of like it was cool to see them being like, "Yep, we're working on Doom 2. Yep, we're working on the next Wolfenstein thing. Of course, we're making another Elder Scrolls game. Of course, and then like Starfield is a thing. But it's all a lot of like, here's a CG trailer and some logos, and that's it. And like we don't really know any.
Lots of CG trailers and.
I mean, you could say that, but like I'd like Microsoft's thing by and large was not a bunch of CG trailers. They were actual gameplay trailers showing off games, and even like the 2019 games were actual like showing off gameplay in the games.
Especially like also
there was a lot of that.
We have like the expectation of Sony is like going to probably have more extended gameplay related things for these big games that they're showing. So like it's not the tone set for this E3, and that's not the tone Bethesda has set for their own shows before.
Right.
But also like in my book, Bethesda does get a little bit of leeway just because, and I'm not trying to like steamroll you here, Mike.
No, you're good.
We have to assume that everything pre-Starfield that they talked about is within the next calendar year, or at least I feel like that's a safe assumption. Obviously, like the pre-DLC is out now. The only thing that we didn't really get firm feeling on is Doom, but I feel like they brought it up in that context with the assumption that it is coming out sooner rather than later.
Sure.
That was my feeling, which made me feel better about it. Like them being ready to show Doom. What's the subtitle on it?
Eternal. Yeah, and they are going to have a full reveal of that in August. So like I'm sure there'll be
but they always
actually there.
Dump all the Doom announcements for QuakeCon.
Yeah, like
it's traditional.
When they first showed the Doom gameplay behind closed doors was at QuakeCon.
Yep.
So,
but
it's a bummer, but
yeah, and I'm sure once that comes, I'll be like, sweet, awesome Doom stuff. But I mean, like
soundtracks.
Yes,
I mean, like that was probably an exciting thing, or will be an exciting thing. But like the Wolfenstein stuff was still weird to me. Like it did say 2019, it is co-op, so we know that much. But it is just like, what else is this? Is this like a sequel, or is this like the Old Blood, where it's like this kind of standalone thing? I'm guessing it's more along those lines.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's cool. I'm down to play that. But it was just a weird way to, I think, to like show those, where like I feel like prior to this, with those kind of bigger new games they brought out, it was like, all right, we're revealing this and then we're showing some gameplay along with it. So it was just weird for them to just kind of be like, I don't know, yeah, of course we're making a new thing for this, but here's just like a CG trailer and a logo. I just did like, that's just not how Bethesda has done stuff for me before, or at least that's kind of what it seemed like with their last press conferences. So it was just a weird direction. But I mean,
I get that though. Listen, Mike, I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
You don't respect me.
I don't respect Quentin. I respect you though, Mike. So I'm here for your opinion. Don't worry. Like I want people to have different feelings coming out of this.
Yeah, and I just think there was a weird showing, and I mean, I'll also admit, like, I'm not like the biggest hardcore Bethesda guy, but I mean, I like their newer stuff a lot more than, like, I like Doom a lot and I like Wolfenstein a lot, but I wouldn't say I'm not like crazy about Fallout or Elder Scrolls. But that being said, like Fallout 76 is probably like the most interested I've been in a Fallout game. Like I think it kind of started off like, yeah, okay, that's what to be expected, but then when they start getting into more like it's co-op and you can group up with your friends, and it's kind of not just like I think it got really undersold when it was compared to like it's like Rust and what was the other one, like Ark or whatever they were.
The Jason Schreier story came out,
Rust
and I think that was a little bit underselling again, and I'm sure that could have just totally been a thing of like he's just hearing it from like he's just hearing it like a pitch from the thing, or like I'm sure like a news traveled through different pipelines, so it kind of thing. But
Yeah.
that was just. But yeah, that was I think I'm more interested in that than I thought I'd be. But yeah, like the ending to that show was just like the kind of like excuse me, like the kind of the start of the show was very weird with like Andrew WK performing and like no one gave a fuck and it's just like
Except for
Rage
Andrew Renee
2.
out there rocking her. She was doing a head
Yeah.
rock, apparently.
Also, I'm here for that song.
Yeah, like I like Andrew WK. Like I've met him in person before. He's a cool dude.
Damn.
But, like
Fucking humble brag over here.
yeah, I'm pulling the humble brag from the Bethesda shows. There was a lot of that too, and I was a little like, all right, guys, you can relax. Like we know you're the fucking Fallout people. Like stop circle jerking. But anyway, it was just a weird start, and like it went into like the Legends card game, and then some other stuff, which isn't like the most exciting stuff, sure.
But it's
like
fan
it was
service.
just yeah, it's fan service, and it was just like I just think it was like weirdly. That was that whole weird section of them being like, we're gonna say a sentence, then kind of pause and wait for applause, and like there's like a lot of that throughout that whole thing. It's like this is just flowing weirdly, and it just didn't work. But then it picked up when they got to like Doom and the Prey DLC, and like that stuff was a little more interesting. And then it kind of came back down, and I was like, all right, here's Elder Scrolls. Here's some like mobile game announcements, which I kind of expected them to do like an big Elder Scrolls mobile game because Fallout Shelter did so well.
Yeah.
And then just kind of the big non-announcements of like, yeah, Starfield's been rumored for a long time, and for them to like finally show it and just be like, here's a logo, basically, and it's kind of just like, oh, okay, I don't.
Final Fantasy VII remake, Spider-Man, Death Stranding, etc. Like,
yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's had extensive gameplay by now, though. Like,
but I know, but when it was first revealed, it was that.
It was not. No, it had an actual gameplay showing.
Spider-Man had a trailer when it was first.
Spider-Man had gameplay showing. Like, I'll agree, Death Stranding has had extensive CG trailers. We also don't know what the fuck if there actually are CG trailers or not. But they probably are.
But also, like, I wasn't a fan of those things when those were announced. Like, I'm not comparing Bethesda to Sony 2016 because I didn't like Sony 2016.
Sure.
So, like, I'll say, you know, we'll get to it when we get to my feelings.
Yeah,
I understand where you're coming from, though, Mike.
But I mean, more or less, it was just like I just think it was a weirdly structured show, and I think they could have waited on some of these announcements to like have their flashy CG trailers, but also show something from the game. Like I think that would have been more preferable to me personally. But
how did you feel about it, Quinn? How do you feel, Quinn?
I feel I like this conference. Let me just say that out loud. If I were to grade it, I would probably give it a B-.
Well, we don't do letter scores here.
I know.
When we get to that point.
But no, it was fun. It's fan service, and that's one. Okay, so peek behind the curtain. I like Bethesda. They're probably, like I was telling Alex the other day, they're probably my favorite third-party publisher next to Ubisoft. Like I just like their franchises, and it's weird. Like I agree with Mike. There was weird moments, but like Rage 2 looks fun. Elder Scrolls Legends is fan service to that audience. It's like I keep getting emails about Gwent, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about Gwent, but you know, like that fan base is still out there. Then you have the Doom Eternal announcement, which was cool, and I'm excited about that because for those who don't know, Doom 2, like way back in the day, was Hell on Earth, and that's what Doom, like whenever it is, the second Doom is going to be that, and that's fun and exciting, and it's refreshing to that brand. The Wolfenstein stuff, sure, weird. Co-op sounds fun. You know what I mean? Then you have Elder Scrolls Blades, which is not my cup of tea, but I know people who don't play games that much, like my brother. He loves Elder Scrolls. He plays the shit out of Skyrim. He's going to play the fuck out of Blades probably because if he can play a game on his phone, he probably would do it more often. The Bethesda showing is always about fan service, and that's something which I always like. It's fan service to the fans that it's just fan service, and that's at the end of the day something nice about it, and that's why I really like the conference so much. It's just catering instead of like new stuff. It's like here's how we're improving on the stuff that you already like that Prey DLC. I like Prey. would I call it like an awesome game? No, it's a good game. But like that DLC and like New Game Plus and like having that new survival mode, I'm interested in that. And I'm probably gonna re-download Prey because those sound fun. You know what I mean?
Because it's available now.
Yeah, I mean, they had one of those, which was fun.
Yeah,
but like,
I love a good shadow drop. No one's
you can't hate
shadow
on shadow drops. You can't hate on shadow
I
drops.
mean, fucking Yarny 2 had a shadow drop.
Hell yeah, Yarny 2. Let's talk
Unravel
about shadow
2.
drops.
But that's the main reason I liked it so much is because of that. And it's fan service for people like me. You know what I mean? And Fallout 76 looks interesting. I also noted in Slack that it's almost like Fortnite, and I basically got eviscerated for saying that.
Because it's nothing like Fortnite.
Yeah, it's
okay, but Fortnite, like in the general mind space, is Battle Royale. Like when I say Fortnite, I mean like original Fortnite before Battle Royale.
But still, like the original Fortnite is like a tower defense.
Yeah, it's
kind of, sort of.
But I mean, it has co-op. It like there's no line of like, well, it has co-op, so it's like Fortnite because.
Well, like the base building and like you have to defend your settlements, etc.
Yeah, I mean that was stuff that we had seen in Fallout 4. And this is just kind of slightly expanded to. Have also other players like the game does.
Yeah, and that also made it seem like that was something you can do in 76, but it's not like the central thing, which I think the central thing in that original Fortnite was building a base and fighting off dudes.
Yeah. But it's all about fucking loot boxes and Battle Royale now.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Give me that loot.
Yeah.
But going back to that Prey DLC, I'm excited for Typhon Hunter. That sounds fun. Like a first-person roguelike in Prey. That sounds so fun. Like the reason I'm excited about that is because Prey's all about experiments. Like, but that's any immersive sim. Also, immersive sims are the fucking shit. I'm just excited. It was a good conference. It's fan service. I like fan service.
So for me, if that's cool, if we transition out, Quinn.
Yeah, totally.
For me, like, you know, I liked Bethesda's show last year was a big thing. I think that's like kind of my dividing line. Bethesda's show last year was pretty short too. I think it was like 35 minutes. It wasn't that long.
Game of the Year 2017 out of it. So.
All right. And I bet you in that sizzle reel, you were like, hell yeah, Dishonored, Death the Outsider.
Fucking Pete Hines made a shout out to the game. So.
I mean, he literally said every game from them that came out last year, though, and that
did say all the games.
Yeah, I'll fucking take it. Okay. I'll get a name drop.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, guys, you guys want to talk about Tales of Vesperia?
Exactly.
Oh, god damn it!
Fucking anime boys.
We're back, dude. Mike, you're gonna play it. You're gonna love it.
You're probably. I mean, it's gonna be either very opposite of that, and I'm just gonna be like, you guys need to calm the fuck down.
I think you'll like it. But
anime.
Let me tell you about Jump Force anyway. But I liked their show last year. I thought what worked about that is all the announcements were very similar to one another, which I know some people don't like. But like, you know, they showed the game, they showed a good trailer with maybe a little bit of gameplay or a lot of gameplay and a little CG. You know, it depended on the game that they were showing. Because I recently rewatched their show last year. You know, like the Wolfenstein 2 showing last year was a little bit of gameplay, but it was a lot of cutscenes that were actually from the game. Obviously, The Evil Within had a really phenomenal trailer, and then some very quick cuts of gameplay.
Yeah.
What's cool about that Evil Within 2 trailer is that like after you've played the game, going back and watching there's a lot of context that it actually is hinting at. That's really cool. But. I mean, the thing about this is it was an awkward stage presence, right? Like, Pete
I do agree with that.
Is such a professional and he's so good. And he
got the shout out to his Washington Caps. So congrats.
Yeah, it's true. He was very excited. You know, like
sports, y'all. I'm bringing it to Irrational Passions.
Nope, you're not. Quinn, this is his last podcast.
My first and only with Irrational Passions.
Holy shit!
Yeah, there you go. Short-lived Quentin Hoffman. Thank you very much.
Quentin, he tried.
He did. No, but like there was personality there. it was just very stop and start awkward. There was that moment when I don't know what was the first game they showed was Rage 2, right? And the two
Which
developers were on
very
stage. And there was that moment where it was just quiet for very long.
Yeah, so I think
kept,
like something
looking at each other, and it was like there was something off screen happening. It seemed like
yeah,
it was so uncomfortable, and I wanted to die because anytime awkward things happen on stage, I just immediately curl up into a ball.
yeah.
But once, man, the opening was just so bad.
Yeah.
I don't like Andrew WK, like whatever as a person, but like I don't like that kind of music. And it's just like we opened with a musical performance, I guess, because Pete Hines came out, and then it was like, and here we're gonna show you Rage 2, and then like unprompted, Andrew WK walks out.
Yeah, walks out. Yeah, that feels like a press conference thing from like years ago. That like
so yeah, that's like a 2008 like press conference pull.
Yeah.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
The Game Awards a couple of years ago had Ray Samward to perform there. Do any of you know who those are?
Were they the guys that did the Doom soundtrack? So no.
That's Mick Gordon.
I mean, dude, I don't know any bands' names. I don't listen to modern music. I listen to songs from 2007, like an old man.
Apparently that's old. I was listening to the Rolling Stones today. Fuck.
Yeah, and who's a real old man now, Quentin?
Yeah.
Tell me about Fortnite, kiddo.
God.
Was there a point to you interrupting me, Quentin, or were you just being rude for the sake of being rude?
I just wanted to interject like weird musical guests at.
Could you not do that?
Okay.
But come after you, boy. I'm flying down to San Diego. I'm sorry, Quentin. I just really wanted to put you on blast.
That's fine. I'm used to it. I record a podcast with Logan.
That's true. To be fair, you earn it there. You earn your keep. Or some would argue.
I
it
would
was just it was unprompted. Like if Pete Hines had come out and said like, "Hey, we have a special musical performance to lead into our first presentation," I would have just felt better about it, in general.
Sure.
But no, he's like, "We're gonna show you Rage 2," and then he walks off stage.
Yeah.
They show like the logo. And then Andrew WK walks out, mouth agape, just looking up at the ceiling. And I'm like...
That man looks good, by the way.
He's a good-looking gentleman. His chest is large.
His arms are big, too.
And, like, I kind of recognize him. I'm like, I know that guy. Is that Andrew WK? Like, that was somewhere in the back of my mind. But, again, like, no prompt... just kind of brought out, and then he's got his holster microphone, and it just goes into that whole nightmare. But it was just it was very forced. And then developers came on stage. That was super awkward. So like just like this very slippery footing from the get go, leading right into Rage 2, which again a game that I think looks good, even though I couldn't care less about Rage. Well, I could care less.
Well, the thing, okay, I said it before. Rage 1 is a okay game.
Yeah.
It's interesting concept, bad execution because
mega textures.
John Goodman is in it. John
Goodman
is
and that's true. But the thing is, and Doom Guy's on the dashboard of the car in the beginning. But like John Carmack just cared about the graphics instead of actual gameplay, so that's why that game sucks. Rage 2 looks fun.
Also, I want to shout out to Logan, who's watching right now. I said, can you not do that? Alex DeQuinn is the best. Rage 2 looks like a good video game, which is cool because like Avalanche is coming off of Just Cause 3, which was like a good
Mad Max
game with technical difficulties, and then Mad Max before that. So like they've got both like the kind of mad, like that setting they have experience with that, and also that kind of really bombastic gameplay style they've also got experience with, and it looks like it plays well, which is rad. I just like it being like an open world game, and like we're driving around a big world.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's a big part of it. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to drive around a big world with combat cars. Like I like the parts where you're boots on the ground, run around shooting dudes, and if there's just that,
that's
that's where I fall into it. But I am positive that every moment where I'm like driving from that fun scene that I just did to the next is just going to be too miserable for me to get through. And maybe that's not the case. We'll see. I'm trying to keep an open mind. But again, that game looks good, and they showed a good demo, and then it's just more awkward presenting for all their 12 different Elder Scrolls sub-brands now.
I will want to say something real quick. Shout out to the Quake guy. His shoes were I'm pretty sure they were the Adidas Alien shoes. Those are fucking fire.
Dude, I don't know, man. Todd Howard's loafers.
Yeah.
Shout out to those.
Looking professional.
Looking professional as how he's got the brown leather jacket.
God, he looks hot.
Dude, he fucking knows how fucking rich he is.
Yeah.
Like loafers in that jacket.
He's
he's
fucking
got a
loaded.
strut too when he walks out. He's like, I'm fucking here, man.
He's like, I can say whatever the fuck I want. I can make all these dumb jokes because I'm fucking loaded. Like, fuck all yeah.
But also, like,
check out my CG trailer for Elder Scrolls 6 nerds.
he's also like genuinely charming. So on top of that, he's like what Elon Musk wishes he was. Suck a dick, Elon Musk.
Yeah, pay your people.
Yeah, pay your people, please. God. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, we get through it. Like, my thing is, I don't care about Wolfenstein. I care a lot about Doom. Again, my impression was, like, Doom is within the next 12 months. Maybe that I'm wrong to think that maybe that could be a next holiday game, and I think that would still be fine.
Yeah. More than likely.
The Prey stuff seems cool. Like, that mode is really cool. I didn't really play Prey. I played the demo, and I was like, man, as soon as I got a gun in that demo and shot it for the first time, I'm like, I don't want to play this game. Which I'm sure you can attest to, Quentin. But
Prey's a good game. It's just got some problems.
Yeah.
Like that third act. That's the problem.
Like that whole last part of it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you remember the guy we talked to, Quentin, at PAX, the director on that new immersive sim?
Oh my god!
He told me the story of Prey is like one of his favorite video game stories of all time.
God, I wanted to die when that happened.
Maybe you're just wrong, Quinn.
No, I mean Danielle Riendeau from Waypoint. It was our game of the year last year.
Feel like that last act is real bad. So
yeah.
I'll say, like, I'm curious about Prey now. Maybe I'll play it someday. But then, like, they got into the Fallout 76 stuff. I know I'm skipping a good deal here, but there's just not much to talk about before that.
Yeah.
Because according to Mike, CG trailers.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though. Like, Doom Eternal CG trailer, and it's like, hey, we're gonna show more, or probably show the game itself. At QuakeCon, they showed the Prey. I thought the Prey trailer looked pretty cool for the new mode.
I like the whole like simulation aspect to it. It was like just rewinding. That was very embracing the roguelike-ness.
Yeah, I like the roguelike aspect of it. I think it's cool that an immersive sim type game like that has a roguelike mode that's kind of like a separate thing where you have like a point A to point B destination and it's run based. I think that's a genuinely cool idea. I feel like Dishonored could do something like that pretty cool. Where like there are random factors in each run. And then they announced the two Wolfenstein 2 things, which is the Youngblood co-op, and then Prey. They're like Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot.
Yeah,
which
is like a fucking logo? VR Nazi hacking thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But I mean, the big thing coming into this was like, I guess like Rage 2, yes, but was, hey, they need to explain to us, like, they need to sell me on Fallout 76, and I thought they did a really good job at that. It helped that Todd Howard was the one presenting it, and he's obviously he's very smart, and he's also like good at explaining how Bethesda Softworks like thinks about game design, and kind of distilling it down so that a normal person could understand it.
Yeah.
And they showed a very like jump cutty version of the intro where you're coming out, waking up in the vault, and then leaving. Yeah. And then they showed the world.
Can I interject real quick, Alex?
I mean, you're going to. So
I was gonna. If you don't want me to, then I won't.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Quinn.
The Mr. Handy robot said "ciao" and "arrivederci," which are basically the exact same fucking thing in Italian.
Yeah.
I was kind of offended by that.
Fine with arrivederci, which is
but even like, but he said aloha and then ciao.
I want you guys to know something, and I'm sorry in advance, but when he said Arrivederci, it made me think of a side quest
Derci.
in Derci, Arrivederci. It made me think of a side quest in Tales of Vesperia where one of your characters gets a move called Arrivederci.
That's good. I like this. This is a good bit.
So like genuinely, I am fucked up right now.
Yeah.
I really hope for the rest of E3, every time we have one of these post shows you're on,
you're gonna find some deep cut.
You're gonna have some way to get Tales of Vesperia into that fucking post show.
I'm not even kidding. That's a real part of that game. You meet an Italian character, and he fucking makes a little robot. It's very good. He teaches you a move called Arrivederci. Tales of Vesperia is a very good video game.
Does he make the enemies go away?
It's like an attack move.
Oh.
So
if it made him like go away, that'd be better.
It's a strong attack. It's good.
Yeah, I like the name.
It's a great video game. Anyway, they're showing of like I'm trying to think of a way they could have shown Fallout 76 better, and it's hard for me to think of that because like they basically showed here's a thing of like when you're walking through the world and another player attacks you and stuff like that.
Right.
I still have some questions. I'm sure people are going to play it at E3, so like we'll probably get a clear idea of like because they said, hey, you can play it by yourself. Does that mean that you play it by yourself in your own world, or
if you can just go offline, right?
Yeah. Is there like a specific offline mode, or are you just doing your own thing with other people roaming around that world?
Yeah.
And that's my big question. I like that, they showed some of the co-op specific aspects of it. Like there are nuclear silos in West Virginia in this environment that you can run around and activate and pick up a spot on the map and drop a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, that's
that
cool.
Makes like rare loot appear there too for a temporary amount of time that you can then risk going and exploring, but more dangerous enemies will obviously be there. Really cool idea, and I like that. Like multiple players have to contribute part of a nuclear launch code in order to initiate that sequence. Yeah, gives it kind of like a raid-ish feeling, like a Destiny type thing. That's that's a genuinely good idea. So I think they did a really great job of presenting that game, and it was a thing of like I was hard out because I just have burned out on Fallout. I almost thought it was Far Cry, different game.
Yeah. Also another game that I'm burned out on.
Yeah, a different burnout kind of thing, but I think they did a good job of like when we were talking in our Slack while the conference was going on, like a lot of us kind of came around on that game. So, and like I see the appeal of like maybe me and one other person like exploring a Fallout environment. And just having like this kind of intimate Bethesda open world experience. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would love it even more if it had split screen. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, you're good. I definitely agree that like I think opening up that concept of co-op makes those games much more appealing to me as like somebody who's not crazy about Fallout. Like that, I think like co-op in that world, those worlds like adds a cool dynamic.
What's more important before they showed Fallout 76, they did let us know where Skyrim is coming to next, which was actually just a very good comedy sketch that they just worked into there, and it was good because like they didn't do it with Bethesda employees. They hired what I can't remember his name.
I think it's
Keegan-Michael Key.
Keegan-Michael Key.
To do this great
it's fucking
on
great.
Alexa bit and also Skyrim on pager.
Yo, the beeper thing fucking got me.
It was good. It was when Alexa said, "I'm sworn to carry your burdens." I was like, "That's some good shit right there."
Yeah,
that's a deep cut.
Shout out to Lydia.
And also, he has 400 wheels of cheese.
Yeah, 473.
Yeah, that's
I'm glad they didn't make an arrow to the knee joke.
Yeah.
Yes, that would have been low hanging fruit.
So like it was a good bit. It started a little weird for me, but then like it did like it kind of like the whole conference, like our Fallout stuff, it kind of turned around on itself and became pretty good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
And also on refrigerators. So
yeah,
a lot of Pierce made that joke months ago, and now it's real. So, Anyway, after they were like, hey, Fallout Shelter's coming to Switch and PS4.
Which I'm excited about.
That's great. It's a great place for that game to be.
Yeah, for sure.
My fun fact: my mom is super into Fallout Shelter.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, she really likes mobile games, so maybe she'll get way into Elder Scrolls Blades. Who knows? I doubt it. But I'll say this: like Bethesda doesn't do like Year of Dreams type things of like here's some things we're working on that are far away. Very often, so like. It's not a card they can pull all the time, but I was excited to see Starfield. I was excited to see Elder Scrolls 6. Especially Elder Scrolls 6, because it's a thing, it's, obviously, like, they've kind of directly addressed it. Hey, like, we are working on this, but it's not a thing that we're
going to talk about.
Yeah, it's not a thing we want to talk about. It's just we understand it's far away, and we're not trying to get anybody's hopes up. Maybe them saying it, like, actually officially announcing it,
we'll just squash those rumors.
Well, it puts it a little bit closer in our head. Obviously, it doesn't have a subtitle yet, so it can't be that close. But, like, what are we actually going to call this game?
Yeah,
right.
No one's actually going to call
it. What
it.
is it actually going to look like? Which is not that CG trailer.
Yeah, and like what area is it going to take place in? What part of Tamriel or things like that?
Yeah.
But again, like they don't do that often, so they do get a little bit. It's not like Sony where it's like year after year they're showing things that are years and years away, and I got sick of it. It is a thing of like Bethesda does a good job at kind of showing things that are very immediate or very soon. Like Fallout 76 comes out November 14th, which is very soon, and
pray for Hitman.
Pray for Hitman. It'll be fine. As long as the giant bomb.
Pray for Days Gone.
No.
Pray for Days Gone.
Days Gone will not be fine.
No, that game looks bad.
No
praying will help Days Gone.
That game looks fine, but it doesn't look as fun as Anthem.
There's a reason Sony. It was like one of the Sony like early morning. We're like, hey, here's the date for it. You're not gonna see this at the actual show. Peace.
Peace. Bye.
Yeah.
Although somewhere George Cruz is just angry that they didn't save Tetris Effect for their actual press conference as the only game that they show. George would have been here for that.
Yeah, he would have.
But like I said, I don't think it is the same as saying, well, Sony did this and Sony did that. Well, but Sony also did CD trailers in 2013 and then 2014 and then 2015, and
they have more money too.
Yeah, but like they set themselves up for failure with that.
Yeah,
like they lock themselves into like tons of promises, never deliver.
Or deliver it way later than they should have.
Yep.
Yeah. Whereas Bethesda has a good track record of delivering on the things that they promise.
Yep.
So again, personally, I am more comfortable with giving them a little bit more leeway, and I'm okay with them after a show where they actually did show quite a bit. For their relatively small publishing stature, that they have a couple things at the end there.
We're getting Brink 2, y'all.
Yeah, finally, Brink 2, the sequel to Brink.
I made the joke. I made the joke Brink Battle Royale in the Slack probably a few days ago.
Okay. I mean, that actually sounds kind of good. Brink was a pretty bad game, but it was kind of fun.
Good ideas. Traversal in multiplayer is a good idea.
Yeah.
That's no Horker, that's my wife.
Shout out to
Pagers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cameron, in our chat. The thing I do want to point out, Starfield, they refer to as a next generation game, which I don't know.
PlayStation 12, y'all.
Yeah, but like, does that mean like PlayStation 5, Xbox 2 type thing, or is that like this is our next generation internally of what we want to try and do with these kinds of games? That's how I read it.
That's kind of how I read it too, where I don't think it's going to be PS5, Xbox 2, whatever. I think it's just like, because I think technically Fallout 4 was still like on previous generation.
Yeah, it was like on the Skyrim engine, highly evolved.
So I think that like them saying like Starfield is basically like here is our next gen engine. Like this will be kind of the first showing of that, and then Elder Scrolls 6, I think, will still be this generation too.
Which makes sense, because
potentially,
allegedly they've been working on Starfield for like upwards of like 5 to 7 years. So
Yeah.
um,
I'm excited about Space Game.
it's cool. Like, you know, the idea,
Yeah.
the pitch of that game of like being kind of like No Man's Sky, but you can go to multiple planets and there's like a thorough handcrafted story in each world there. That's like a really cool thing, especially with the idea of how Bethesda games work.
Yeah.
If they can pull that off, which I think they can, whether it's a buggy mess or not, you know, needs to be seen.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really cool idea for a video game.
Mm-hmm. Space Game.
Space Game. But that was their showing. No Evil Within 2 DLC.
I'm gonna interject real quick.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that the only Arcane thing that we got was the Prey DLC.
I mean,
but
that means that studio's working on something.
I know, and that makes me excited. Arcane, please deliver another great immersive sim.
I hope they're making just a new IP though.
Same, but I won't. But they're known for making immersive sims. So
Mm-hmm. What if they're just making a Doom immersive sim?
oh, I'd be fucking in that, like all over that.
Oh, you're right. Let's go around. Mike, what would you grade this conference? 10-point scale. Decimal points are allowed. Feed me.
6.
Okay. No thoughts or feelings behind that.
I mean, I feel like I've said mostly what my thoughts on it. Like
6. It's bullshit.
Yeah, 6. It's trash. This would all be on the dumpster. I mean, like I said, like the opening of the show was very strange and awkward. Even without like the musical performance, it was just very, like, it felt like a conference from from 2008, like you said, and like the thing that made that weird also is because I also generally thought the last 2 conferences they did were good conferences too. Like they flowed real well and like they didn't kind of extenuate on stuff or like have these kind of weird non-announcement things there. So it was just like it caught me off guard for them to have them here. But then like it picked up a little bit more. Like the Prey, like I'm in the same camp of like Prey looks fine. The expansion looks cool for people who like that stuff, so that's cool. I'm
the
happy
3 people that played Prey, yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Doom and Wolfenstein 2 are coming. Like that was pretty when those games did so well. It was pretty obvious I would see them come back. But I wish it was. I would have rather them not say anything about Doom 2 here at all, and then at QuakeCon have the big blowout because that would have been like. I still think that would have went over just fine. Like if they just waited and been like, "Here's Doom Eternal, here's like that CG trailer, here's some gameplay."
Yeah,
and like have people. I still think like it was just like it was a weird non-announcement, and then like the same with the Wolfenstein 2 thing. It's like it's pretty fair to figure out what that game is, obviously, but like and it's cool to have co-op, but it's like I would have rather them just be like, especially since it's probably going to be a standalone thing. I would have rather them just have like just wait until next year, show the full thing, and then be like, yo, it's out in like a few months. Instead of being like, we're making a Wolfenstein 2 thing, see you in 2019. Like, I think just like some of those announcements could have been thought out a little more instead of just being like, it seemed just like they had the stuff and they're excited about it, obviously. So it's just like, we have our first big stage at E3. Let's just show what we can show. Kind of feeling to it. So
I do want to interject here just to say Logan said that he disagrees with me about my Sony Bethesda comparison, but he gets my point of view.
And I mean, I would say similar of like, at least with the more recent Sony conferences, I don't think it's been that strongly that stuff. But I do see what you were saying about like it was more so that they did when they early announced stuff they would. Like I feel like they still showed gameplay with it, but it's still one of those things where it's like it's still years off. They show a thing and it like doesn't even have a date on it. Then they show it again a year later and it's like, I don't know, it's another year. Then it's just like a flat year. Like it was a very weird, like they kind of shot themselves in the foot by doing that kind of thing. But anyway, that's Sony. But
yeah, they're better about showing gameplay. I definitely see that.
Yeah,
it's just it's different. I have a different feeling to them. I have a history there.
So. Sure. But yeah. it picked up after Fallout 76. I enjoyed that, and then the weird kind of announcements of like, sure, it makes sense. Like Fallout Shelter did amazing, so they're gonna put that out more and follow it up with an Elder Scrolls mobile game, which is like their other big thing.
Mike,
And then,
question for you:
mhm.
Are you gonna go spelunking for loot with me in Fallout 76?
Sure, I do. I'll definitely check it out. And then like, especially because it has that co-op thing. Because honestly, like if I don't think it had co-op, I probably wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's more of a focus than it just being this kind of online thing. Like in there, they kind of emphasize like it is still kind of like a story thing, and you can play with your friends if you want to. It's not just like you're kind of playing through a quote unquote Fallout game, and there's just other humans doing shit. Like that doesn't sound all that fun to me.
Yeah. It's 15 times better looking.
Yes, that I would say that too. Like I was visually impressed by that, and like also like the variety of enemies. It's not just like here's a normal dude and some raider stuff, and then a mutant
a lot
man.
of fucking ghouls.
Yeah, and like mutant people. Like that was like it's cool seeing basically a fucking dragon. like it's like a mutant bat, but it was essentially just like a fucking dragon.
Yeah,
I thought
there was
that
a sloth.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was a mutant sloth that was very cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that enemy variety and stuff. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Anything else?
But yeah, I would just say like the wrap up. I think is just again going off of those sort of non-announcement things. I think like obviously they're working on another Elder Scrolls. We knew they had to announce it at some point. So I guess like sure, I guess this stops people from going like, hey, when is this? Hey, when is this? Kind of like poking them in the shoulder. Like I guess that's kind of what these are. So whatever. But like it's just I would have rather them not just show some logos essentially and been like here's like a better idea of what like you'll see in this game.
Yeah.
Quentin, what do you on a score of 1 to 10, decimal points included?
Okay.
Hit me with it.
Big shocker, 8-1.
8-1.
Yeah.
8 seems high.
It's fan service. I'm also like I typically grade conferences a bit higher. Like the EA conference sure was whatever. I thought there were some high moments. I would have given it like a high, like maybe a 7.5. But like I'm more loose when it comes to like for me E3 is basically just a week of hey, look at what we're working on, get excited, fucking advertising.
It's it's liquid hype. We're drinking
that's what it is. It's like I'm excited about the stuff that Bethesda showed. At the end of the day, I am.
Okay.
Like Fallout 76, I'm interested in. You know what I mean? I'm in for Doom Eternal. Like sure, CGI trailer and all that. I'm still fucking in on that game. Wolfenstein stuff looks cool. I'm probably gonna play it. Like Quake, sure, whatever. Elder Scrolls Online, whatever. Legends, whatever. Elder Scrolls Blades, interesting. I'm probably not going to play that, but I know people who are going to play that, so it is fan service to those. And like I'll just go back. The Bethesda conferences to me have always just been fan service, and that's why I like them. And they're also my favorite publisher, like third-party publisher. They just make cool games. They have cool studios working on cool shit. Sure, there was awkward pauses and all that. Sure, whatever. But like, how many of the Mike, like, just quick fucking stupid query. Like, how would you be if you were on that stage? Would you be like that same level of awkward?
I would be Pete Hines.
Thanks,
doing
Alex.
the whole
I would be Todd Howard.
I would be Todd.
Making my sick jokes. Be like, fuck you. I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Check out my CG trailers.
I mean, listen. I'm just It's not. I'm not trying to judge the person. I'm just saying,
I think it was the emphasis on they kind of have a line and then like pause, be like applaud or like see if they get a reaction from stuff. I think there were times where like that was clearly like not the person interviewing or like doing the presentation's decision. No. Obviously, like I understand that, but so I think it was kind of a larger thing of like how they set them up to do that, and not necessarily like I'm sure some of those people on that stage didn't want to do like that. They just want to talk how they want to talk, but like I think it was just a weird thing because again, looking back at Bethesda's conferences from the previous years, they didn't really do that kind of stuff. Or like they did have the pauses, but they were like more well worded and kind of flowed better. Where this just seemed like we want to say a thing and it's coming to this.
Yeah.
And they just kind of sit there and like see if they get an applause. Like it's clear like they were going for that, and it just wasn't what they should have done. Like they shouldn't be like trying to force it.
Yeah, the decision or the criticism comes more from of like you should have presented this differently more so than this person on stage is bad.
Well, but like I could tell that some of those people were not as like they weren't like they were kind of awkward. Like Hugo Martin when he was doing his stuff, you could tell he was just not ready to do something of that size.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Put somebody in front of 1,000 people, they're gonna
and exactly, and that's like awkward pauses and all. It's like they're human. Like it could have been worse. Honest to God, it could have been worse.
It could have been giant enemy crabs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Giant enemy crabs is pretty good.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know about you guys, but pretty good.
You're here for that 06 press conference.
Also 1 million troops is a pretty classic E3 moment. Let's go.
Yeah. I was probably,
99 Nights.
Alex, you just made an 06 reference. I was 8 in 06.
Yeah, man, I was like,
turn off this. Turn off the stream right now.
I was 13, dude. It's not like I was fucking out here dropping soliloquies. Like, what do you want?
Also, Cameron Abbott agrees with me. He gave it a 7.9.
7.9. Solid C+, he said.
Yeah. But it's like, I already said this, it's fan service. Like, that's what I like. I like
you were the
service.
fan that they were servicing.
Yeah, and like there's tons of people with similar tastes that to me that appreciated this conference. You know what I mean? Sure, the Microsoft conference, whatever. Cyberpunk, I'm excited about that. But it's like that's all just like
don't you talk shit about that Microsoft conference.
I was at work. I just read like the GameSpot roundup.
Oh, okay. You should watch it. It's fun.
It's also fucking almost 2 hours long.
It's an hour and 40 minutes. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I was gonna
say that's pretty fucking long.
It's a brisk hour 40.
But it's
Bethesda's was not that far from that.
Yeah,
Bethesda
was like an hour and 30.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like 30 minutes, honestly. But no, it's like Microsoft and Sony are gonna have like the big fucking get hype moments because A, they have money to do that, and B, they have so many different teams working on things versus Bethesda, which is all in-house. It's all Arcane, id, Machine Games.
I mean, that's a lot of teams, man.
But it's 3 versus like look how many teams are at Microsoft or Sony.
Yeah, I mean but there's still a way to present that's exciting.
Yeah, and some of the stuff wasn't exciting, sure, but I'm still excited.
I'm glad. I will say I'm glad it worked for you. Worked for Cameron. Worked for you, Quinn. It's fine.
Yeah. If they make the people that like their games happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah. For me, I would give this... I'd probably give it a 6.5.
Wow.
So
I'm the outlier.
I mean, what did you think I was going to give it?
Like a 7? Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's close. It's close to a 7. Just because I think it was good. I don't think it was great. I think it was above mediocre, which is like the worst space to be in.
EA.
I'm sorry. That was just a funny way to phrase it. It's above mediocre.
I would say 5 is a mediocre press conference, and that's probably where I would put EA. And because I think this had a little bit of pop, but it like everything awkward about it.
It had ups and downs.
Yeah,
sure.
Everything awkward about it pulled it down for me.
But also that audience wasn't good either.
Here's the thing: I don't know why everyone's going after the audience. It was everyone from Bethesda being like, "You guys should clap for this."
Yeah, like please be excited. Like literally, but it was hard to tell.
Walks on stage, please laugh.
Yeah, please laugh.
It was hard. It was also hard to tell like how much of it was audience and was like them trying to get an applause out of, because I think like if you do that also too much, whether it's in there trying to pause and get a claps, like after a certain point it's like they can't tell if it's like, are they just pausing because they're waiting for a thing, or like should I actually clap for this? Am I supposed to like? I could see being in that audience and just being like confused as hell. Like, am I clapping? Okay, I'm not clapping. What's happening? Like, it could go either way with that. Like, who really knows?
Yeah, I mean, because my thing was when Todd Howard's out there making his goofs.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the audience was fine.
He's about to go on his comedy tour after this.
Yo,
Dude,
fucking.
he's got an HBO special coming.
Yeah, fucking. He's co-touring with goddamn Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I feel like the audience was fine. It was the very, very awkward pauses that people kind of expected to be filled by the audience.
Yeah. And they had also like, I would say like the weirdest like stage setup they ever had.
Yeah,
like
it was
like it looked like they were in some kind of arena and like basically where like a ramp where a truck would come to load in a bunch of like gear and shit. Their like stage was connected off of that or something. I couldn't tell what was going on with that. It was just a very weird setup. So it could have also been that where like they could have had the audience kind of set up in a way where they weren't really mic'd, so we didn't really hear like the full on thing. Like it was a weird thing.
It was a very weird thing. So that's my big takeaway. I think the things they showed were exciting. I think the announcements they made of Doom and Starfield and Elder Scrolls, I think those are exciting. I just think the way it was shown was bad.
Yes.
And poor in a lot of cases. I'm not necessarily trying to put anybody on blast. If people that make it are excited about it, they want to show it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm just saying it could have been presented better and more clear is a big thing. Or it just could have been tighter. Like it could have been shorter and the bits between segments. Like you could have taken full parts out of that conference and it would have been better.
Yeah.
So
totally.
But either way, it was not. EA is still the worst. Logan out there saying that EA was better than this is.
I would also kind of agree with that. Like not by like a huge margin by any means, but I would still say I would put EA just above Bethesda's.
EA had Shaquem Griffin, and I'm fucking in for Shaquem Griffin.
I was not a fan of the EA show, mostly because what Nick at Night was hanging out playing mobile games.
Nick at Night is esports.
Nick at Night is fucking esports.
So I don't know how you can say talk about Nick at Night and then be like, I don't know, man, Bethesda is way better than that. I think what it was for me is like even like the low parts of EA were much better than the low parts of Bethesda's, in my opinion.
They were less awkward.
Yeah, and like it flowed better, and like there were definitely some low parts in the Bethesda, or not Bethesda, but EA stuff too. Because like obviously there's like the sports stuff, but even like the sports stuff compared to some other years was actually pretty good. Like I'm not gonna buy any of those, but I actually thought like that NBA trailer was like fucking good. Like I was writing down notes for that too, and I was just like, this is a good cut trailer. Like shout out to the video editor or whoever is doing
the trailer.
I
thought was
live.
Well cut. I don't know, man.
Sports, y'all. Sports are a
but like I would also say like the low was like the really awkward way that they announced their new next big Star Wars game for next holiday is just Vincent Pella in the audience just being like
that was
like that Aisha Tyler.
It's like, all right guys, that was not
with the Assassin's Creed cosplayer guy.
Oh my god, it was fucking horrendous. I
would have rather had Andrew Renee talking to a dude in Jedi cosplay and announce the game than just poor Vincent Pella clearly being like, all right, I'm telling you about this now so everyone will leave me the fuck alone.
Stop pointing at me, you fucks. Well, tomorrow we are bringing the hype. I'm not going to be here for our first two post shows tomorrow, unfortunately. Did we figure out who is doing Square Enix?
So what I think what we're doing is it's at least me, Logan Wilkinson, and Scott White, and we're going to be doing like a combined Ubisoft and Square Enix post show. Like we're basically just going to cover both shows in like one kind of maybe not like super long thing, but we're going to be covering both the shows. And I don't know. I know it's us three for sure, but I don't know if there's anyone else joining us from the group.
It's not me. I'm basically the thing with my work schedule and E3. I always get off after the conferences happen because I'm on the West Coast when they're going on.
Oh yeah, it's true. Because I guess you might get off around for Sony though, right?
What time's Sony out?
Sony's late.
It's like 6 p.m. your time, I think.
I get off at 6:30.
I mean, to be fair, it's probably gonna be 2 hours long, so you'll probably catch the tail end of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be an hour long. They did an hour show last year, I think.
Yeah.
It could be a very different.
Hopefully, we get the fucking cool water effects again.
Yeah, fucking. Let me tell you about water. So that'll be tomorrow. I think around 4 p.m. Eastern time. Let me look at the. Because you guess
because I think I know Square's the first show of the day.
6:10 p.m. Eastern time.
For Sony.
For your combined Square Ubi.
6 p.m.
Ubi is going to be 6 p.m. It'll end at 6 p.m. So.
I'm excited about Splinter Cell, y'all.
I will be at work, but I'll be around to moderate the Sony post show, which is going to be very fun. That's going to be we're presumably starting that around 11:10 p.m. So around the same time as this tomorrow night, and then maybe we will do something in the evening on Tuesday for Nintendo. We shall see. But I hope everyone's having a fun E3 watch along. At home there. I hope everyone at E3 is having a good time. Thank you all very much for watching. Obviously, these will be up on demand to watch afterwards to catch up on our thoughts. And we might have some videos and stuff going up throughout the week of us just kind of getting more specific with things. Just me talking about Tales of Vesperia for 45 minutes.
Oh, if we get a new Deus Ex at Square Enix tomorrow, I am fucking losing my mind.
I got a great announcement for you, Quentin. Deus Ex Go 2.
They literally just said they're not making any more Go games, so.
Oh, damn. So, I gotta watch Quentin's dreams die.
So Deus Ex is dead, essentially is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Deus Ex is dead, Quentin. Maybe more people should have bought Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Yeah, man, I want to say Eidos is working on something already, isn't it?
They're helping with the Avengers game. I know that much. But...
God, the fucking Avengers game, Jesus Christ!
That game could be great, Quinn.
I was gonna say I'm really curious to see if that's actually there tomorrow.
My theory in my
can I fuck
show is
can I fuck
game.
Hawkeye? That's all I want to know.
I want to fuck Hawkeye. Can Hawkeye fuck Todd Howard?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Todd Howard.
Well, the thing is it likeness of Jeremy Renner Hawkeye that you're fucking? Yeah. Are you fucking, or is it like whatever the fuck?
It's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Bad Faces Hawkeye.
All right, no man.
Todd Howard didn't let me know if we could fuck in Fallout 76.
Yeah, so it's shit.
Like I said, it's DLC.
Yeah, no. Mike and I are gonna do a stream where we just fuck in Fallout 76.
That's gonna be on Twitch, and you
that'll be on Twitch. We're gonna get that hard ban.
I was waiting for I'm glad it took me a second. I'm glad you kept going with the Fallout 76. You're like, we're gonna fuck us.
We're just gonna fuck.
Alex
the head turn, just like, wait, what?
Yeah, wait. Do I get to say this? Thank you all so much for watching. We will continue our E3 post-show stuff. I'm gonna be on the OK Beasts E3 Wednesday night post-show thing. I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but they're gonna be doing a stream, and I'll be on that, talking about E3. So if you want to see me doing stuff, I'll be there for that. And I will not be there this Friday for the Irrational Passions podcast, but the boys will be talking about E3, I assume.
Go.
But they'll be talking about Deus Ex Go 2.
How fucking dare you?
Thank you, Quinn. Thank you, Mike, for joining me. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I love you all. Have a funny